the Supreme Court of your mind today on Fortitude Through Stoicism, and this is my 365-day journey of implementing the ancient philosophy of Stoicism into the life of this modern masculine man. It's ironic that I've been talking about consistency and patterns, but here we go. The quote today by Seneca. This can swiftly be taught in a very few words. Virtue is the only good. There is no certain good without virtue. And virtue resides in our nobler part, which is the rational one. And what can this virtue be? True and steadfast judgment. For from this will arise every mental impulse, and by it, every appearance that spurs our impulses will be rendered clear. So what is Seneca saying? Again, Seneca, the slave, freed, turned educator. Ryan Holiday continues here, and this is where the rubber hits the road. Right now, I want you to think about someone you know whose character is like granite, right? Why are they so dependable? Why are they so trustworthy? Why can you always rely on them? You might see a pattern. It's consistency, right? They are honest not only when it's convenient. They're not only there when it counts. There are qualities that make them admirable come through in every action. So why do we revere people like Teddy Roosevelt, for example, one of my mentors, one of my influencers, if you will? Isn't it because he is considered brave, right? Doing courageous things, the hard thing, the tough thing. And those qualities shine through every story about him. You know, when he was young and weak, he became a boxer. When he was younger and frail, he went to the gym in his own home every single day for hours on end. When he suffered the loss of his wife and his mother on the same day, got on his horse, rode off into the Badlands and herded cattle. Led the Rough Riders, so on and so on. Even on the story I tell all the time, on his deathbed, they found the book that he was reading with notes right up until the end. He was still learning up until the very, very, very moment he died. So the moral is, you become a sum of your actions. And as you do, what flows from them, your impulses, reflect actions you've already taken. Use myself for an example. There was a time in my life that I drank more than I worked out. It was not a good version of me. I tell this story all the time. When I was on my deathbed, just came through a 4-day, 96-hour bad detox in a prison cell. After drinking, a bottle of vodka every night for the last 6 years in a row. Had to make a decision, right? Laying in that bed, I had to make a decision. Do we finish dying, or do we actually make an attempt at living? And I realized that I'd lost everything to the world. And I notice I don't say the world took anything from me. I lost everything to the world. My family, wife, kids, house, businesses, assets, reputation, sanity, my body. Virtually everything that I'd spent my entire life building or developing. And it was on that deathbed when I was reduced to absolutely nothing that I realized the one thing that someone can never take away from you is your character. So that was my commitment. As a man who up until that point was a good man, but yet we could call his character somewhat on the morally gray side or worse. But I went to work on my character. Now, 3 years later, fast forward, 5 years later, fast forward from that rock bottom moment, 3 years since I took those steps on 75 hard, now I'm known as that guy that you don't want to ask a question to, because you are going to get 100% of the truth, and you are probably not going to like it because it is not going to be watered down. It is not going to be redacted. You are going to get not only the tip, but the full fucking thing, right up to the balls. So you're going to get everything. Stoicism, I'm working on a little bit of restraint, because just as it's true doesn't mean that it needs to be said. Thank you, Mama. Mama said, if you don't have something nice to say, then don't say anything at all. Sometimes the truth needs to be said. So, between Stoicism, Mama, and my unrelenting passion for the truth, there is a happy and comfortable medium, and I'm trying to find that. Because for me, I love it. I'd love to be smacked with the truth as opposed to kissed with a lie. That's my philosophy. That's my mentality. So now, as I point out every single day, I focus on my virtue, right? All the things to make me a better man. Character development. Focus on my virtue. I've won my day already. 7:30. I've already worked out. I've already done my study time. I've done my stoic study time. I've done my brain training and my learning. 7:30, and I've already won my day. Whatever happens here, it doesn't matter. I've already won. The rest is just icing on my cake. It's just me being present in the moment and living my life. Enjoying the experience. And on that, we're going to get to it.